The skies over Kashmir have once again become a stage for confrontation between India and Pakistan. On May 7, 2025, an Indian Air Force Rafael fighter jet crashed near the line of control, the de facto border dividing the disputed region.
India claims that the aircraft was shot down by a Pakistani surface-to-air missile. Pakistan denies any involvement in the incident, asserting that the jet went down on the Indian side of the LOC.
This incident represents a dangerous escalation in tensions between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. India maintains that the downing of its jet was an unprovoked act of aggression. It points to the sophisticated nature of the missile system allegedly used, suggesting that Pakistan's military deliberately targeted the aircraft. India argues that this incident is part of a pattern of Pakistani support for cross-border terrorism and attempts to destabilize the region.
Pakistan, however, presents a different narrative. It rejects India's accusations and claims that the Rafale crashed due to technical malfunction or pilot error. Pakistan also accuses India of violating its airspace and carrying out airstrikes within its territory.
Both sides have presented conflicting accounts of the events leading up to the downing of the jet. The lack of clarity surrounding the incident highlights the volatile nature of the India-Pakistan relationship. Each side views the other with deep suspicion and mistrust, making it difficult to establish a shared understanding of events. The downing of the Rafael has further inflamed tensions, raising fears of a wider conflict. The downing of the Rafale jet carries significant symbolic weight. The Rafael is a cutting-edge French-made fighter jet that India acquired in a multi-billion-dollar deal. It represents a major upgrade to India's air power capabilities. For India, the loss of a Rafale is not merely a material setback but also a blow to its prestige and its efforts to modernize its armed forces. The incident has also exposed the fragility of the military balance in the region. India's acquisition of advanced weaponry like the Rafale was seen as an attempt to shift the balance of power in its favor. However, Pakistan's alleged ability to shoot down such an advanced aircraft demonstrates that it possesses the capacity to inflict significant damage. The incident underscores the risks of an arms race in South Asia. As both India and Pakistan continue to modernize their militaries, the potential for miscalculation and unintended escalation grows. The downing of the Rafale jet is the latest chapter in a long and bitter rivalry between India and Pakistan. The two countries have fought 3 major wars since their independence in 1947, 2 of which were over the disputed territory of Kashmir. The Kashmir conflict lies at the heart of the India-Pakistan rivalry. Both countries claim the region in its entirety and have been locked in a territorial dispute for decades. The line of control, established after the 1971 war, divides Kashmir between India and Pakistan, but does not represent a mutually agreed international border. Beyond Kashmir, India and Pakistan have a history of mistrust and animosity stemming from their shared colonial past, religious differences, and geopolitical competition. This history of conflict continues to cast a long shadow over their relations. The international community has reacted with alarm to the downing of the Rafale jet. The United Nations, the United States, and other major powers have called for restraint from both India and Pakistan. They have urged both sides to engage in dialogue and de-escalate tensions to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control.
However, diplomatic efforts to defuse the crisis face significant challenges. The history of mistrust between India and Pakistan makes it difficult to find common ground. Moreover, domestic political considerations in both countries often make it difficult for leaders to be seen as backing down. The potential outcomes of this crisis range from a fragile ceasefire to a dangerous escalation. If diplomatic efforts fail and tensions continue to rise, the risk of a wider conflict between India and Pakistan, both nuclear-armed states, will increase. The international community must remain actively engaged in efforts to de-escalate tensions. Dialogue, diplomacy, and a commitment to peaceful resolution of disputes are essential to avert a potentially catastrophic conflict. The stakes are simply too high to allow this crisis to escalate further.